So here we are, folks. We finally are in the valley, and you can see there's a bunch of rhododendron in here, and this is the access trail right here to the general, and that's part of the cable shovel right there. So that's 0.2 miles, not 2 miles. So the worst is over. I came up and over the mountain. I don't know if you could see it there, but that was about a 2-mile hike, and I've already fell twice. This place just loves to beat on me. So I'm going to pause it, and then we'll work our way back this little access trail. There it is through the rhododendron, and back in there is the old cable shovel. Along the way, I'll stop and show you guys some mountain drainage, some cold, acid coal drainage. It's really poisonous. That's why you can't drink water from the stream here. So not only do you have to carry your stuff over rough terrain, but you also have to carry some water with you. So last time here it was winter, and we actually camped out along the Appalachian Trail. We passed through here, and we had to carry all our water with us because all the water is poisonous because of the acid mine drainage from the old coal mining that used to go on here. So here is the acid mine drainage. All that orange stuff, that is the byproduct of coal mining, and you can see just nastiness. And then this flows right into Roush Creek. You know, this little spring comes out of here and flows into Roush Creek, and it is just poisons the water. I mean, you can't drink it. I wouldn't drink it anyways. Even though the creek looks beautiful and looks, I've been there. That would be another hike. I'll show you the guys the creek. But the water looks beautiful and looks like something you could drink. But as you can see, I mean, that's just nasty, nasty stuff. And it comes out of that seep there. That's the spring. And it's just a shame. But part of Pennsylvania's heritage. I mean, all of our, not an inch of PA has been touched by some kind of industry in the past. A lot of our forests are second growth forests. So, okay, on to the general. So here we are. I just want to kind of give you the guys the look of the approach of this thing. There it is in all its glory. I mean, it's amazing. It's just here in the middle of nowhere. So, all right, let me get the tripod set up, and I'll let you guys give you guys kind of some history of this thing, and then we'll do some close-ups. So, this is the general, a cable shovel that used to dig on the mountain here. Just gives you an idea of the mountain. And they harvested coal out here. You know, it's just like, how did they get it in here? There was a railroad that ran through it at one time, but still. And they just left it here. So, I hope this gives you an idea of the enormity of this thing. And it's just quite a piece of engineering. Just getting it in here was a piece of engineering. So, just to give you some quick history of what I've found out about this thing. The AT hikers, the through hikers, call it the General. And the reason they call it the General is because on the back of this thing it says General. And what this actually was made in between 1925 and 1927 by the General Company. That's what built this monster. And you know, cable shovels were used throughout the early 20s and the 30s until, you know, you had hydraulics. They didn't have the hydraulic technology that we do now. So, and this thing was definitely made without safety in mind, because the operator sat right here, and you had this lever, and beside him is this huge winch, and that's what lifts this piece up and down, and it digs this way. It's hard to see, but there's teeth right here, and it would dig this way versus this way like a modern backhoe. You can see the huge metal cleats, you know, the tractor assembly, and it would turn. This thing could turn around. After I do this, I'll do some close-ups so you guys can see it. And most people think, oh, it's a steam shovel. No, this isn't a steam shovel. Those were earlier. This was actually made, actually is powered by a 4-cylinder Stirling motor. For those of you who are motorheads, so it's just fantastic. You know, the history we got here in PA, and this is part of that little hidden history that a lot of people don't know about. You know, we're less than an hour from Harrisburg, and you know, this is just here, so it's crazy. So let me I'll pause the video and I'll go around and I'll give you guys some shots of the inside of this thing. You know, this is the cables that lifted the boom, and then there's another pulley there, and this part would actually move up the boom, and then this would swing, and so on and so forth, and then of course this would dump. So over to the right of me is actually a platform where this thing would go up and down. They probably would load it right here. I don't know if they had trucks or railroad. Like I said, there was a railroad that came through here. I don't know if I haven't seen any signs of a railroad bed here, but that doesn't mean it wasn't here. So let me show you some close-ups of it. So this is the bucket. As you can see, it's bolted together. There's the teeth I was telling you about on the top of the bucket. There's obviously the pivot. And what's really wild, that's the old pulley that attaches to the bucket, and as you can see, it goes up to that boom up there, follows that boom to that pulley there, and into the cab where the winch and the operator sat. What's really wild is, and I'm going to circle around the bucket, this tree is actually growing around the bucket. And as you can see, this is a pretty sizable tree. So that little tree had just been a small little sapling at one time, or a little baby tree, and then here you can see where the dirt would be dumped out after it's scooped up. That little trap would open up. You know, that had to have been a seedling when this thing was abandoned. You know, and we're talking, you know, 80 plus years, you know, in the 20s, 30s. So pardon my shadow, but there's the tractor assembly, one of two. And there you can see the cog, and it would rotate on that. So this is actually turned. The cab's turned to the left side. And there's more of the tractor assembly. So, and you can see the chain that drove it. There's the giant cog. Now we're going to look inside, and now you can see all the winches that drove this thing. Some of the cables are still hanging. No tension on them, obviously, at this time. But just all the winches that drove this thing. I mean, it's just crazy. So now we're going to go around, and you can just see the body's just starting to rust away. And this thing's held up pretty well for as old as it is. You know, some idiot shot it with a shotgun, but that's how some people are. This is the little Stirling motor that runs this whole monstrosity, and it's a crank start. No electric start in those days, you know, maybe some, but on cars, but it was a luxury. So that was a crank start. So I can only imagine trying to turn that. We'll go around the back. And there you can see the name, General, and that's why this thing is called the General. I don't know if there's any more of these still in existence, but that whole big piece there, you know, that's the counterweight. So there's a lot of weight on this back end. We're at the back end of the machine here. And there's the little motor. And it says Sterling. And it's just crazy, you know, that this little thing just has been here forever. So let's go around here to the other side. I'm going to show you where the operator's sat. So there's some more, do another shot. You guys could see more of that winch that ran this whole thing. Ran the cable part of it, actually. More of the engine assembly. You can see here, that's where the other side is of the crank. The other tractor Caterpillar assembly. Now, where are the operators sat? Last time I was here, the seat was here. Looks like the seat has disappeared. But that's where you sat. Right there. Right beside that winch. So, and back then there were none of the safety guards like we have today. None of the safety. OSHA didn't exist then. So if you got your arm caught in there, I mean, you were in trouble. So you can see the lever. I'm assuming that's to work something with the winch. There's the pedals. I don't know if they made it go forward or backward. I'm not. Some people might know that. I don't know. There's another lever. And I'm assuming there's the main levers. So I'm assuming those are to move the shovel up. So I'm going to give you another shot of the boom here so you guys can see it a little better. So there's the boom. There's the main pulley. And then there's another pulley up top there. Pardon the sun. And you just see how much that just, you know, I can't imagine how much noise this thing made when it used to run. It was probably awesome to watch run. I like machinery, so it probably was pretty cool. This thing was probably loud and just, you know, who knows. But just a really awesome piece of history here. And this is why I like hiking Penn's Woods, because you get to see stuff like this. You know, it's a shame it's here. I mean, you know, but you know, it's not hurting anything. It's just slowly deteriorating. So now we moved up from the shovel and we're looking at the mountaintop, the mountainside, and you can see that little V. That's probably where the coal seam used to be. And the General would dig away at that. And we're on top of what was basically a flat platform where it would work off of. This is actually about 2 feet up off where it's sitting now. So it probably would dig into the side of the mountain, come over there, and use that rise to dump the coal in. So just to give you guys an idea of this whole layout. So folks, that's the General, and I hope you enjoyed this little taste of the trails video, and I hope you guys inspired you guys to come out and actually check this place out. You know, like I said, it is a little bit of a rough hike, but if you take your time and you plan well, you can do it. So until next, this is Chad Redding with Ruck Rabbit Outdoors and Strange Familiars. Fair weather and safe journeys.